Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is the stupidest thing that ever came out of your mouth? When the cashier said have a nice day, and I replied with no, thanks. Background, I was thinking straight that day, and thought they said do you want a bag? Have a nice day. Nope. Edit, don't waste your awards on this, I was just trying to visualize a conversation. Edit 2, stop. Please, stop. Edit 3, I now have more awards than the parent comment. Please give them awards now instead of me. Or have a nice day. Don't tell me what to do. When it's one of those days where you know it's going to be complete shit so you don't even bother with hope. My first job was the concession stand at a movie theater. After ringing people up I would end with enjoy the show. It was so ingrained in me due to saying it hundreds of times a week that I would sometimes say it whenever someone gave me change when I was the shopper at a store. I remember being so embarrassed. I look back and get a chuckle out of it now, though. I work at a coffee shop that offers dog treats for when people come in with their dogs. Would you like a treat for your dog? Is such an ingrained question that I once asked a woman with a toddler that same question. I realized my mistake immediately and just tried to stammer through an apology that it's normally a small dog on the other side of the counter than a small child. She was not amused. I would be so excited / scared at about what you were about to do next. The twins are 3 years old. Me, both of them. Oh no, this unearthed a memory I had buried from kindergarten LMAO. We had a set of twins in our classroom and once on their birthday party I said your brother got such a cool party, I hope yours is nice like this too to one of them and he was like yeah, this one. 4-year-old me was not a very bright kid. Look how thoughtful and caring you were as a 4-year-old. You wanted your pal to have as nice a party as his brother. Chatting to a homeless guy on the street and he told me he was feeling unwell. I told him he should be at home, resting. It's been 20 years and the memory of it still brings me out in a cold sweat. What if he just laid down right in front of you? What a power move. Or you go home and he's asleep in your bed. Oh my freaking god. Watching the documentary The Last Dance when a Cub interview pops up. Me, wow, they must have filmed this before Cub died. My wife, yeah, obviously. Reminds me of using my Marine Corps training, I can turn anything into a weapon, even this rifle. Thinking quickly, Dave constructed a megaphone out of nothing but a squirrel, some string, and a megaphone. Asked my friend how his mom was doing at his mom's funeral. An old friend's mom passed away recently. The next time I saw him I gave him a big hug and said I was sorry. He said she's a lot better now. There was an awkward pause before he corrected himself. She's in a better place. She recovered from being dead and is almost able to walk again. Looks at casket. She's been better. Jesus Christ, this is the worst one on this thread. What was his response? He looked at me and then the casket and kind of smirked. I awkwardly started to try and explain and just said I'm an idiot. You know I love you. Talk to you in a bit. He makes fun of me now and I can't stop laughing. It's a positive painful memory. In my freshman year of college I was dorming next door to a couple cute girls. About a week into the first semester one girl walked from the co-ed showers to her dorm room in her towel still wet. We were both unlocking our doors to get in our rooms when she looks at me and says, "I know I look stunning," sarcastically. To which I replied, "Don't flatter yourself." I had to slid a note under her door explaining I was tongue-tied as she was beautiful and I meant to say don't be hard on yourself, you look great. Or something to that nature. We became good friends. So cute of you to recover this way. Reminds of junior year HS, we're all waiting in the computer room which was like a mini auditorium, because it was pouring rain and lightning. Supposed to just pass over and then we can leave for home. We're all just quiet, kinda talky but mostly staring around. My ag teacher was one of 2 teachers up front, just standing facing us with his arms crossed, bored looking. When the perfect amount of silence came, he let out a long sigh, looked down at his watch and said, "Man, I need to get home and water the grass." Everybody died. After a few minutes I was the only one still dying and people were saying how red I was from trying to hold it in. Just couldn't stop laughing, man. His perfect delivery, paired with the loud pattering of rain on the roof. Joke hit me like a truck. I've had days like that where the dumbest things make me borderline hysteric. I just imagine this teacher completely chuffed with himself for getting an entire room of people laughing over a slightly humorous joke. A couple of months ago, I got up and drove to work as usual. Later, my girlfriend texted me from home to ask me if she had left her sunglasses in my car. I told her I wasn't sure, but she could grab my spare key and go check. In my car, which I had driven to work. Haha, I feel you. That would be the kind of things I'd say, a bit lunatic, eh? In my head I was wondering what 1 pound of water would look like in terms of volume. What I said out loud however was, how much does a pound of water weigh? But steel is heavier than feathers. They're both a kilogram. Us metric system users don't have such a problem. 1 liter of water weighs 1 kilogram. My first thought was, the US has metric system users. Then realized you said us. Edit, I get it, the US uses metric for various things lol. I was about 4 months into my current job, feeling confident being fresh off the contract to hire period, now moved into a coveted full-time role. While walking back to my office from the morning Kanban I was stopped by my boss, head peeking out of the office. Boss, hey the mediator, do you have a sec? Me, for you, I've got lots of secs. Boss, wide eyes, mouth dropped. If you're curious why this was incredibly stupid / embarrassing, try saying the phrase lots of sex out loud. Preferably, not to your boss though. Lol, when I was in 6th grade, the neighbor teacher came in and asked our teacher if she had a sec and my teacher responds I have many secs, and to a bunch of 6th graders, we all started laughing. She had a confused look on her face and then got quiet when she realized it. I would have also accepted I have lots of secs. I'm glad I read this because it sounds like something I'd eventually say. I'm not a native English speaker, but I never really had an accent that North Americans would assume to be foreign. So every time I'd pronounce something wrong people would just assume I'm awkward or have some sort of speech impediment or something like that. When I was 18 I went to Canada to work, in an English-speaking environment, and on my first day of work, I was supposed to fill out some sort of worksheet at the end of the day and hand it to my manager. I was really concerned about the words sheet and shit at that time. It was a totally conscious thing though, if I didn't think about it they'd come out fine. So at the end of the day I get my sheet, notice my manager has left her own worksheet next to my desk, so get hers too and walk into her office thinking don't say shit, don't say shit, don't say shit. I walk in, look at her and say here's my shit. Immediately realizing what I'd said, I tried my best to mask it and quickly followed it up with and here's your shit. Fucking embarrassing. She looked kind of bewildered for a while and just went yeah, thanks. It didn't help that earlier that morning, when meeting her for the first time, I naturally went in and kissed her on each cheek as is custom where I'm from because I didn't realize it was different and she was also really taken aback and uncomfortable. I'm sure someone told her afterwards that I was a foreigner, but the shame stays with me forever. Hey, don't sweat it. Canada is a country of migrants, and even in small towns we're pretty used to dealing with newcomers and different cultures. Girl I was interested in gave me her number out of the blue. I asked. Why? To be fair, if someone shows interest in me I'd also be confused. One girl all through HS showed interest in me. I threw it all away because in my mind no girl would ever like me. 22 years old and that is my biggest life regret to date. It was my birthday and it was getting cold outside, so I announced to everyone that I was going inside to put on long sleeve pants. She wears short shorts, I wear long longs. She's cheerer and I'm on the sits. I don't understand why people place bets on who wins. Why not just place bets on who loses? Yeah, took me a minute to register what I said. Edit, I honestly didn't expect this to blow up. The bet was just a simple football, soccer, bet for who would win the match. One team was favorite so the odds weren't great, and that's when I said what I said. By picking a winner, I am picking a loser too. I hope that helps clear up any confusion. This is actually kind of a thing for horse racing. Obviously in one-on-one sports it doesn't make sense, though. True, it does apply to some sports. I really should have gave context. The context I said it in was talking about football, soccer. Probably the time I was on my honeymoon in Hawaii when I asked my new husband why there wasn't a bridge to Hawaii. I mean, if there can be a bridge to Alaska, why can't there be a bridge to Hawaii? Husband, there's not a bridge to Alaska though. Then how do people drive there? husband, Canada. Canada is the bridge. Still just about die of embarrassment every time I think about that one. I blame a lifetime of the maps that show AK and high completely out of scale, and in weird positions relative to the contiguous US. You're telling me Alaska doesn't float above Mexico? I was wondering why they had shut the gate at my kid's school, and I looked around and saw heaps of crows, and I said to another parent, probably shut the gates to keep the crows out. As soon as it left my mouth I remembered they can fly. The other parent lost it laughing, and I wanted the floor to swallow me up. The best way to play that off is to sound completely sincere / deadpan, like you're doing a Stephen Wright bit. When they point out that crows can fly, add something like, good point. They should make the gates taller. Or introduce hawks to the ecosystem, leading to a decline in crow population and therefore fewer crows entering the school. It's only embarrassing if you make it that way. It was a good joke if someone laughed at it.